Listener discretion advised. Book Chub features discussions of mature themes. It is not intended for young and sensitive ears.
Well, I'm going to have to read her the section on the courting gift first.
Don't worry.
She needs context.
Yeah, my husband already listened to it, which I think is worse. What up, Jason? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Jennifer?
Good. I'm Jennifer. Gross. What am I, in trouble? Probably.
Yeah, you definitely are, because I think we're talking about a very spicy book.
Yes. You know what? This is the nonsense that I have brought into your life. You're welcome. That's all I got to say. So for listeners, our four that have joined our social media so far, we're reading Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. And this is book 3 of the series. So I kind of just, how I found it is I was like, okay, I'm doing this with Jason. He enjoys sci-fi. He's a Trekkie fan. And I'm like, okay, what can I literally looked up probably something like science fiction romance novel. And this had like 18,000, like 4+ star reviews. So I was
nice.
like, I'm jumping in. And then, it's hot out the gate, I'll have to say. It's real spicy from page 1. So yeah. What were your initial thoughts when you received this book request from me?
Oh, well, just from the cover, I thought, oh man, I am in for it. And I definitely, yeah. And then I immediately read the back cover, and there was a lot going on. A lot that I didn't quite understand. I love that we're starting with book 3, which just completely highlights my total cluelessness, because not only am I new to this genre, but this is a series that we're jumping in the middle, and but it's actually pretty good. I think the author does a good job of sort of implying the backstory, or not necessarily the backstory, but all of the things that happened in the previous books, which I'm kind of guessing, but it sounds like they talk about events that have already happened, and I'm assuming those things happened in the previous book 1 and book 2.
We're starting from behind. That's what she said. No. Yeah, no, I also, my first thoughts were like, is this really this chick's name, Ruby Dixon? Because, I was curious. No, I thought the same thing. I kind of like, I jumped in and just was like, all right. And then my husband is the one that was like, oh, by the way, did you know that this is a series of books? And so I'm like, excuse me? And then he's like, yeah, I've already listened to all 3 of them. So he wants to. Yeah. He got real excited at this. So what I'll do for you, Jason, is also kind of start out with a general overview of where we are at in the book. For those of you who are reading the book along with us, you don't have to, certainly. But you should. So stop now. If you have not read it, buy this book and then read sections 1 and 2. So up to page 66 if you have hard copies.
Mm-hmm.
So where we're at, and Jason, please correct me if I'm wrong, but, and granted too, I've never been a part of a book club, so I don't really know how this runs. I'm just kind of doing it. We're just flying in, ungreased up. So we find ourselves on an ice planet, and there are, this is my short version of it, is green aliens abducted Earth girls, then crash landed on an ice planet with blue people.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds about right. There were like frozen girls that aren't frozen anymore, but now they're all mating with the blue dudes, and there's like probably a ton of information that we missed by not reading the first 2 books, but essentially that's my general overview of where we are at in the series.
Sounds about right, yes.
Right. Kira is the female main character, and how would you say the big blue dude's name?
I think it's Aehako, and I read it in the back of the. I think there's
Yeah, you did.
I think there's a character, descriptions and stuff with some pronunciations in the back of the book. But I think it's Aehako.
Oh, you're good. Okay, so that's better. So I was reading this around people, so I covered it. So I wrapped I wrapped the book so no one would know I was reading. And so on the front of my little wrapped book, it says, "This is a book," just so people didn't know what I was reading. But yeah, so
Nice.
I did not get the pronunciations, but I'm also not good at that. At those, like, are you good at the phonetic things? I can't do those.
A little bit. I think so. I'm trying to find the phonetics that yeah, I think it's Aehako.
Okay,
And
sweet.
yep.
And I think the Kui. Okay, so Aehako is the big blue dude, right? The
Right.
big blue sensitive guy.
He's our main male character.
Yeah, and he's like, give me some of that Kira, you
Uh-huh.
know? And Kira has this thing in her head.
Yes.
Wait, should I start with the Kui? Well, the Kui
Yeah.
is the thing that keeps the humans alive on the ice planet.
Mm-hmm.
And it also makes you resonate with the blue
Mm-hmm.
dudes if you know, like, which felt a little forced to me. So at first I was like, this feels a little icky. It felt a little like, I came up with the hand cave's tale.
Uh-huh.
Felt like a hand cave. Yeah, a handmaiden in the cave.
Uh-huh.
But I was quickly proven wrong. I guess the chicks want to be there, but still, the Kui is the thing. I don't know. Is it like a soul or something, or did you catch that? Was it like actually something that they implanted in them, or is it just like a
So the way it's described is it's a symbiote organism, and and then basically the way that I think about it is it's a parasite, but it's not something that feeds off of you. It's something that basically helps you. And it's so it's sort of like an organism that is living inside of you, and yeah, so they have this explanation about how they mate with each other, and the Kui resonates with her, and it's kind of like your soulmate, but there is some complications because we meet a character who has resonated with her mate and she's not interested in him. So it's a very complicated system that it seems very straightforward, where there's this whole like coupling thing with the Kui, but it's not as straightforward as you'd think, because obviously and it's almost like there's a couple of characters that we sort of see them resonating, and so it's almost like love at first sight, and it's kind of like this whole romantic idea, but it seems like it could also go wrong.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Dude, have you ever seen Beastmaster?
No.
Like the old Beastmaster? No.
I think I know what you're talking about. It's like an 80s movie?
Yeah, and they put the little like worm in somebody's ear. Like they put the worm in the ear, and then all of a sudden they like are like crazy. So
that happens in Star Trek 1, and it's not like a nice thing that happens, right?
Right.
Or it's not Star Trek 1, Star Trek 2. Star Trek 2, the Wrath of Khan.
Oh,
they put the worms in their ears.
Oh,
but dude. I've never seen Beastmaster.
Oh, Beastmaster? Okay, I could be completely wrong, but they put the little worms in the air, and then all of a sudden the people go crazy. But the guy has like ferrets. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's story for another time. But anyway, that's what I felt like the Kui was. So like at first I was like, okay, it came out hot. It was like she hears this like rhythmic slapping of all the other people that are in the cave, and she has to like share a cave with other people that are like humping. Like, okay, fine, whatever, that's fine. But
that's the first line of the book, Jenny.
Icky, right?
Yeah. Right.
Because I have, and we talked about this before we even started. Like, I have a 13-year-old boy level of like tolerance.
Yes.
For all of this. So immediately my husband's like, did you hear about that? And I was like, okay, stop trying to do this for me. Like, I need to learn this on my own. But when they talked about taking someone to their furs,
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah. And then like she kept hearing all the stuff, and then she was like, I can't, because of the translator too, so she can actually hear what they're saying during all this stuff. And then she doesn't have her own private cave. And then I started thinking about it. I have a question for you. What do you think the caves smell like?
Oh no.
Yeah. Because I have a thought
you know,
on that.
yeah, kind of like musty. Yeah, it's probably one of those smells that's it's like a little pungent, but not. But you know, like you sort of end up ignoring it after you're just in the cave for a long time.
Right. I think the only thing I was like, good thing it's cold, because if it stinks and everyone's doing what they're doing and it's like a cave situation where there's not a lot of ventilation, I'm like not about it. So
that's right. Yeah.
I thought that it would smell like an amusement park water ride. Like I really feel like you're like one of those where you're on a boat, like maybe around some pirates, and then it has that distinctive, like nasty, musty smell.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was like,
nothing like a humid cave. Like, the fact that it's on a cold planet's probably good for them.
That's true. A human cave. So speaking of human caves,
oh no.
Entry. No. Okay. So would you another question, like this came to my mind. I was like, I might just mate with somebody to get my own cave. Like, what would you do? Would you mate with somebody to get your own cave, or are you like over it? Would you be like deal with all the rhythmic slapping?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's a big part of this where it's talking about sort of the cave overcrowding and yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. She'd have to be the right type of 7-foot blue alien in order to really catch my eye. But yeah, I think I would go for for like some cave roommate.
A private so what's your favorite type of big giant alien woman? Blue woman. Would she have like a tail?
Let's see. I probably tail's probably not a deal breaker. I think so.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think the tail's fine. I mean, it might come in handy at some point.
That's right.
Because right now I'm not saying right. We haven't gotten to a point where the tail actually comes in handy.
Have you read ahead? Because I haven't gotten to any tail parts.
Well, we've gotten to tail, but not the actual.
Well, yeah, sort of. We've gotten mention of the tail.
Yes, we've gotten mention of the tail.
We've gotten tail adjacent.
We're tailing the tail talk. No,
that's right.
Bad, terrible. Yeah. So it kind of like. So we meet her. She's talking about how miserable she is. She's talking about the food, like all the meats and things. Like all they do is eat meat and basically like get
and raw meat, right? So it's only the humans that cook the meat, and I think I think they're called Sakui, is the race of aliens.
Oh my gosh,
they're
you're so good.
referred to as Sakui, and I think they eat their meat raw.
Oh, okay. So would you would you be down for this dietary structure?
I mean, I'd have to cook. Yeah, I can't do raw meat. Sushi's cool, but it doesn't sound like it's sushi. It sounds horrendous.
Yeah, it sounds really gross. Like, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, hopefully they have salt or something. So, she hears
good seasoning.
Good seasoning. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah.
Get some seasoning. Okay, you can cut that out. That was stupid. So like I was also thinking about her job. So she's pretty much like they all have their like jobs to like help the community. But I'm not thinking that this community is very big. It's just a bunch of blue people, and did they save? What I didn't understand is like, did the blue people save the humans? And were they like, oh man, I'm sorry, the green people came after you?
I don't know. It does. You know what? It's funny. There is some talk about some dark stuff that happens, and it doesn't make it clear that it happened with the green aliens until later. Like at first I was like, oh wait, what happened? What these blue aliens were kind of mean to these people, and then it said something about like the little green men, and then I figured out, oh, okay, there was a separate group of aliens, that and some dark stuff happens. I'm definitely gonna go back and read part 1 and 2, or I mean, books 1 and 2, because
Really?
yeah, I'm intrigued, but
You're invested.
after this, after we finish this and probably
Yeah.
a few more books from this genre, I'll go back and read books 1 and 2, so I can sort of put some puzzle pieces together.
Shoot. Yeah. No, that's what my husband was saying. It's like you need to read books 1 and 2 before you really get into this. And I'm like, shut up.
Mhm.
Please stop talking to me. But
No, jump right in the middle. That's what I always say.
hey, that's what hey, Aehako?
Aehako?
Aehako. He wants to jump right into the middle.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's like foraging, right? So they have to like take care of the people. So she's going out to getting like herbs. But I wasn't clear either. Like, sorry, I moved on too fast. But like, I wasn't clear. It wasn't clear to me too, like who sucked out the baby from that one chick that stole her baby. I was like, wow, why are they mating with these like blue dudes if like basically they stole her baby? Like, I was like, that seems strange. And that's why the whole like cooey thing, I thought, phooey on the cooey,
Yeah. Well, that's why I was confused. But then it made sense that it wasn't the blue, like the nice blue dudes who did that. It was the green aliens who I think they killed some people, some of the human women, and then they took that woman's baby, and that that's a Megan. I think Megan's the character who had the
baby suction.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to remember. Oh, and then they forced the green aliens were the ones that forced the implant in the main character's ear, the Kira.
Yes.
Because it talks about her being forced to have this implant, and that was one of the things that confused me. I was like, oh well, she seems to be like okay with these blue aliens, but they implanted it. But it makes sense that it wasn't the Sakui blue, like barbarian aliens. It was a group of mean green aliens.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was the green M&M that came around and just or the Geico gecko, whatever. It's one of those that came in and stole her baby. Yeah, I thought I didn't understand that either. And then I was like, okay, now she cannot. So do the blue people, do they speak like the same language, or is she translating for everybody besides the rhythmic slapping?
Yeah, it doesn't really explain that, and that was a little bit confusing, and I'm just sort of going with it, because it seems like the other human women don't have implants in their ear, they don't have the translators, but they're able to communicate and have relationships with the Sakui men, and so I don't know if Kira is doing a lot of the translating, or if the Sakui have learned some English to speak to them. It's just not clear, but apparently, things are working out, because, we meet some couples, we meet a few unattached females, so things are working out between the blue guys and the human women. At first, I wasn't sure if there were any men among the humans, but it sounds like all of the humans are female.
Yes. Okay. I saw that too. So like the green dudes came down to Earth and they basically abducted a bunch of ladies, took them, and then they drove badly and crash landed into the blue ice planet. And then these blue people are like, okay, what are these humans? And these green people are bad, and like whatever. So then, I mean, I thought that was a really good job that I summarized that well.
Okay. So I didn't realize that the human women were abducted. I sort of just assumed that they were like space explorers who were attacked by the green aliens, but I don't know. That's not clear. And obviously, we're missing 2 books, so.
Right, that's true. I'll have to go back and take a look, because I thought she did reference it towards like the end of the section 2, that she was like, "Oh, things were fine on Earth, and then I got abducted or something."
Okay.
I could be making that up completely.
Yeah.
So it seems though that Kira also feels that I'm never going to get his name right. Aehako. That's right. So like he's super warm. Like, like, and she's like, ugh, okay, yeah. He's like, she's all weird and she's like plucking her like herbs and stuff. And he like will not leave her alone. Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So there's this issue of his courting gift.
This was my favorite part of the book. This is my favorite part of the book so far that we've read.
I have so many questions.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was so uncomfortable reading this. Like, for him. Like, okay, so everyone's bunked up in these caves, and like, Homie presents her with he's sculpting his own wang and his own member to his likeness, and then handing it to her in like the garden while she's like plucking for the community. And he's like, oh, by the way, here's my schlong for you. Like, and this is my courting gift. Like, I have, and he whittled it himself. Like, like where did he whittle this thing? And then he talks about how many people are watching him. Like, it
yes. He's doing this in public.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, then he's like, I don't mind living at home.
Yeah, sure. Mom and Dad's on the couch. He's whittling a 1-to-1 scale carving of his unit.
Dad, to me, I was just like, what is happening? And what, I mean, like, I get what's happening. It's a book about booty and aliens. Like, I mean, of course, but to do that in front of your parents, like, what is he thinking? Like, did he really like to sit there and carve it and take his time and like look at it like intently?
Apparently, I guess so.
And okay, so he also hid it in his leggings. I don't know if you've ever. I don't know if you've ever worn leggings before. Have you worn tights before, Jason?
Not. It's been a couple weeks.
So I'm just throwing it out there. Do you feel like you could hide something like that in leggings?
No.
Yeah.
No way.
Right. So this guy approaches you, this giant blue dude, and you're just like picking your herbs, and then he comes up to you, hiding his like, what is it, like a dual effect in the leggings? I mean,
yeah, he's got one in there already, and now he's hiding a second, a carving,
right,
of the original,
right? Like it just, it was so cringy. Like I was just so like, so it made me start thinking about like in my life, what are the cringiest gifts I have ever received from people? And so I was curious if you had any like the cringiest sort of courting gift that you have ever received from anyone.
Cringy courting gift.
I think a mixed tape.
A mixed tape. That's probably a good one.
Like a mixed CD is pretty cringy. I remember I worked with somebody that was a very devout to his religion.
Oh.
And he had this crush on me that I was well aware of, but I was like, I don't know. Apparently, I was also not well suited for him because I was not of the same religion, and that would have been. He kept trying to convert me.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Did he give you a mixtape of monastic chants?
Yeah, he sung them himself. He was like, Jesus. No, that's that. No. But he did tell me I was not saved a lot.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. So then he called me years later, and I don't know if this is really a gift, but he then said that he wanted to thank me that because he had renounced his religion.
Oh, nice. Oh, good.
Yeah, so that was a weird kind of gift, but I got a lot of mixed CDs from that one, so it was kind of strange.
Yeah.
You didn't whittle anything for me, which
whittling is probably the highest form of flattery, and he mentions that he's going to give her a gift that he's carved. And I was thinking, like, I didn't even see this coming. I was picturing a Japor snippet.
You know what?
Okay, so this is a Star Wars reference. By the way, there's Star Wars references in this book
No.
and in the in the author's bio.
Seriously?
Yeah, she mentions that she's a Star Wars fan. But anyway, so
Wait, we're gonna have to come back to that because I am very curious about the references. But yes, the whittling. What is this creature?
So a Japor snippet is from the prequels in Star Wars Episode 1. Anakin gives Padme a Japor snippet, and it's basically just like a little design on like a pendant, you know. So like this is like really like an innocent type thing, and then like tragically during her funeral scene at the end of Episode 3, she's dead, and she's wearing the Japor snippet around her neck, you know. I think you're gonna have to watch the Star. Oh, I ruined the Star Wars prequels.
Damn it! No, I'm never gonna go back.
Oh no. Yeah. So, but basically, so basically, I'm thinking of like an innocent type gift, and then it turns out to be the exact opposite.
It is not innocent. He's like, think of me.
Yes.
Like I had a hard time. Like I was, well, no pun intended, but I was literally like reading this and I was like, oh, come on. Seriously? Yeah. Like I just couldn't stop laughing. And also again, I keep bringing up my husband, but he was so funny. He was just like, did you get to the gift yet? Did you get to the courting gift yet?
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop it with this courting gift. And then he's like, you got to tell me when you get there. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I got there. And he's like, what do you think?
Yeah.
I was like, please don't ever whittle that for me. Don't whittle my diddle, you know? Mm-hmm. It was so awkward that, yeah.
So I think this was very clever on the part of the author because we get the description of his junk from the main female character, and it's before they've sort of reached that point.
Yeah.
And did you notice that there's something
realistic,
unique about this? Did you?
Little horn thing.
Yeah. So he's got an extra phalange at the base of his Johnson.
Yes, I did notice that. Oh dear.
Yeah. He's phalangied for her pleasure.
What does that mean? I'm just kidding. I know what a phalange is. I don't know what you use that for.
I think we'll find out.
Will. It's just oh man. Like I thought it had like this sense of, I love that her friend, like I really appreciate the fact that her friend like set him up to do it. Mm-hmm. He was like, oh yeah. Yes. She was like, human women love that.
Yes, it turns out to be a prank.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the human females set Aehako up, said that this was customary for humans to give this type of gift as a courting gift. So yes. I think that was very funny.
I thought it was funny. It was unexpected. It was ridiculous. It was all the things that I ever could have wanted in this type of book. And I'm really glad you're on this journey with me. So it was awkward. It was great. And then all I could think about is what big blue men look like in leggings. So if we end up doing artwork after this, that's one of the themes I'd like to explore. Yeah. So after he gives her this gift, then they end up going like, then is that when she gets the message in her ear? Is right before the party, right? Because then somebody resonated and then they have this big party.
Yes. The resonating couple is Megan and Cashol. And Megan is the one who had basically like an involuntary abortion from the aliens.
Had the baby sucked. Yeah. She had the sucked baby.
Yeah, and so I don't know if you caught this, but I think this is a little bit of foreshadowing because she's having like reproductive difficulty, and it's explained that the Kui is actually healing her, reproductive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her Kui and her her Kui. I think that's her Kui's being healed.
That's right.
No, I saw like it's the big baby plunger. That's what
Mhm.
happened to Megan. But no,
Yeah.
I don't think she's gonna. So I have thoughts about this. I don't, so throughout, by the time we get to the party and she's like the one with the sad eyes, he keeps calling her
Mhm.
sad eyes.
Kira is sad as yeah. Yeah, he tells her
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So he like by the time we get to the party, we know that she's just like sad about life, right?
Uh-huh.
She can't have kids, and then like we don't we don't quite know yet that she's a virgin.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Which
we do find that out.
we do find that of not, spoiler alert, but she's just so like I have this feeling, I have like this prediction that she's not going to resonate because she
Uh-huh.
won't need the cooey. I think
Uh-huh.
the cooey won't actually do anything. It'll heal her baby maker, and then
Uh-huh.
she's going to like resonate with this dude without the help of a cooey.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
That's what I think. She won't need the cooey because she's like so obsessed with his whittled diddle.
That's true.
Yeah, he's gonna diddle her whittle. No, that's bad too. Whatever. Anyway, so that's what I predict. So like he also, so they go to this party. Oh no, they go to the parties and this is where they make out for the first time.
Yes. Yeah, he finds out about kissing from another human female. and
Oh, right. I totally skipped that part. Yeah.
So he decides that he wants to kiss Kira to find out how that works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does, but then she like gets the message from the alien nation that they're coming
Mhm.
back to like get her stuff, which maybe that's why we need to read the first two books, because I'm like,
Mhm.
why? I'm saying no amount of effort. This reminded me of a time, and we can totally not go down this rabbit hole if we don't want to. When I lost my retainer in high school in a trash can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I was like, you could not have paid me $1 million to go back and dig through that trash can for my retainer.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking about this and I was like, those green aliens have to be pretty hard up to like want to go back just for their like just for their translator in her ear. Like, why do they care about these humans at all? Like, do they want to experiment on them? Like, that's what I'm missing. Like, why on earth?
Okay.
Like, to me, I'm not willing to go down the street to pick up my retainer.
Mm-hmm. Well, that wasn't clear to me either, and I'm wondering if there was other equipment that they're looking to retrieve.
Yeah, like it's got to be something.
Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of there's got to be some sort of like artifact or some sort of reason that they took the girls in the first place. Like, were they trying to mate with them? Like, were they trying to like start like this like mega race with the like human women? Like, there's got to be more reason than like, oh, I left my coat.
No, that's true.
Like what did the aliens leave?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The women. I don't work with women.
I don't know.
Right, we got to figure that out, Jason. These are things that I need to know. Like, you're my Star Trek guy. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think that they have some sort of like orb?
Yeah, there's probably some sort of valuable thing on the planet. Maybe a weapon. Maybe something that the good guys can use against them.
Yeah. Ooh, is it the turnip?
A magical turnip as a weapon.
Magical turnip. Yes, because remember she dug up that tree because they were like getting. Okay, well, I digress. So at the party, she's like, "Oh shit! Like these green aliens are coming back for me." So that stops the kissing with Aehako, and she's like, I'm gonna ignore all these cave paintings, which he's also coloring with somebody, which I thought that was kind of funny. Like, here's this big dude with horns, this big blue dude that's like, I'm at a party where we're all drinking this stuff that smells like shit, and then like it tastes okay, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna like get the crayons and color with this other young girl.
Yeah, he's a sensitive guy. He's good with kids.
Of course he's sensitive. Of course he's sensitive, and of course she's like, oh, I don't want this because he doesn't want me because I'm broken. Like, that's whatever. The thing is, okay, fine. You know what, Jason? I'm proud of you. You should be reading this because I really feel like it give you insight and it's going to make your wifey happy. Like, yo, I get it.
That's right. That's right. But every time I kiss her, I refer to it as mouth mating.
Yes. Yes. How does she feel about that?
Oh, yeah, she's all for it.
Okay. I'm trying, the third nipple, like, like I also couldn't get over that.
The phalange?
The phalange. The phalange greets the third nipple. That's what I feel like was happening. Anyway, so she gets this message and she's like, "Oh, don't kiss me anymore because I need to leave and I need to save the tribe," which I still don't understand either because like why is she really connected to these people because they like saved her from the green people that she's so willing to sacrifice herself? Like at that party, I would have full like just stopped all the music. I would have like record scratched and been like, "Yo, the green people are coming back. They're about to get this thing in my ear. I'm over it. It looks like an armadillo. I'm done. Like, you guys all need to protect me." Like, I'm not going out on an ice planet. I hate the cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, Akira it internalizes a lot. There's a lot, that goes through her mind about her self-worth and how it's tied to the fact that she can't reproduce. And so she feels like she's no value to this sort of society that she's part of. So yes, that keeps her from pursuing anything with Aehako. And then also when she finds out that she picks up a signal because she's got this translator implant and she's the only one who knows the green aliens are going. She has a plan to get everybody sort of ready for the green aliens to come back, but she doesn't want them to panic, so she doesn't tell them straight out that the green aliens are coming. Right. And so it's kind of, she's a little bit frustrating, but that's kind of like where all the tension in the story comes from, is her she doesn't want
role.
Yeah, she doesn't want to communicate and sort of externalize all the conflict that's going on within her. She just kind of wants to keep it all bottled up.
Well, I guess this means that we all know who would die first in this situation. It's me. Like if I had to be there, I would die first. They would just throw me out to the aliens and be like, "You are of no use because you want to you."
There is a character with a blonde pixie cut hairstyle.
Oh shit, that's me. Nice. Oh, P.S. on that note, what's up with that like ginger hate on this, man? Like,
oh yeah, like all the people with red hair have died.
Yeah. I was like, they get no love in any genre.
Man, I don't know. There's at some point a redhead pissed off Ruby Dixon, and she's like, "Yeah, that character is based on so and so. She has red hair, and she's dead."
Yeah, she's some Karen got to Ruby Dixon and she was like, "I'm gonna throw my Dixon all over these redheads," which I feel bad. Oh, but speaking of Star Trek, because awesome, the Star Trek Next Generation, like, the Doctor, why am I forgetting her name right now? She's a redhead, she's red.
Mm-hmm. Gates McFadden is the actress.
Yes.
Let's say Crusher.
Yeah. Crusher. Mm-hmm. She's great. But yeah, no, I felt bad for the redheaded chick. But whatever. It happens. Yeah. So we all know we're gonna die. So at the party. What?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, I was gonna say, she died in a previous book, so we don't right?
Oh, the redhead.
I mean, there's another. Okay, so in the character thing, Dominique, a redheaded female, her mind was broken when she was abused by the aliens on the ship. The green aliens, right?
Yep. Okay.
And so she's dead, and then I think you're right. I think there's another redhead that is not doing well.
Excuse my cup sounds, but no, I put it down here. I did a Post-it note, and I was just like, my Post-it note was essentially like, what's with all the redhead hate? It's on page 47. The orange mane and speckles covering her skin.
Oh, is it Josie?
They remembered her. Oh, who is it? Claire. Harlow.
Harlow. Yeah.
Yeah, you were very good at remembering all these names. Here I am trying to, be the commander of this episode, and you're just like, actually, Jenny. All of this. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So we were at the party.
Mm-hmm.
Then she heard the aliens were coming, and then she had to go like Katniss Everdeen on it, and was basically like, "Don't worry, I'm going to go out into this like cold ass planet and save us all because I need to, so that the whole entire village will be fine." And then Aehako, I'm never going to get that right, is like, no, my big burly ass is going to save you because I think you're sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's and then they secure a small team. So so this is the point where I was like prediction central, right? I was like, okay, prediction corner is I think that this book is going to have a little something for everybody. I feel like there's going to be action. I feel like there's going to be a giant battle between these blue dudes and the green dudes. And I think Kira's going to like sacrifice herself to have that thing removed from her head, but then like the Kui is going to save her or something. But I just feel like there's going to be something for everybody, Jason. I don't think I'm going to do you dirty with this. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, there's going to be some action. Well, the other type of action.
Oh. So in oh my gosh, I'm never going to get it right. Aehako. Okay, so Aihako's like, yo, I want to save your life. And she's like, let's leave. But he's like, the storm is coming and your fragileness is not going to be able to survive on this planet without me. Like, I am your savior. I'm your big blue horned savior with my rough skin. So then they go into this whole like, your skin, like, okay, wait. So they walk outside essentially because she's like, I'm not cold. So Aehako goes, all right, let's I need to back up. She's like, dude, we're at the party. We need to leave. These people are coming back from my brain. Then he's like, you can't go alone. I'll go with you. Let's assemble a small team. It's like a little Avengers, like, I'll go. And then like, one of Aihako's best friends is like, okay, as long as you don't bring that chick that talks a lot, I'll go with you too.
Yeah.
Which rude.
That's right.
And so then they get ready to take off. And then it's like the night before. And like Aihako's like, no, there's a big storm. Like, can we wait? And then she's like, I don't know. And then he's like, well, let's go outside. And she's like, yeah, let's go outside. And then she's like, I'm not cold. And even though she's like actually really cold. And then he's like, my big blue body is going to come over and keep you warm. And then the touching of the skin happens.
Yes, there's a lot of that. Yeah, so she's proposing this expedition, but she says, she comes up with an excuse. She doesn't want to tell them about the green aliens, so she wants to go to a different cave system or back to the ship or something like that to find cutting equipment. That was her sort of cover story. And then he doesn't realize that there's sort of he doesn't think this is time sensitive, so he wants to postpone the expedition, and so they go outside so he can show her how harsh the weather's getting.
Yes. Oh, dude. And then before that, they were getting ready for the expedition. They were making those shoes.
Yeah, they're making some snowshoes and everything. And that sort of sets the scene for them being alone together in cold weather. Yeah.
Where his warm body kept her warm. So the shoe thing, I do think they wouldn't have spent so much time on like discovering that route. Oh, speaking of which, so like before they go into the cave and it's like the night before and they're like go outside and they have their like sexy moment in the cold. The chicks go outside to go make shoes. They gather like these twigs from these branches, like these trees that are supposed to help with these snowshoes where they put leather on top of these twigs and stuff. But then she digs in the blue dirt and then she finds like this giant root.
Oh, yes.
Oh, we can eat this. And so then they go back and basically have potatoes.
All right. Space potatoes.
Space potatoes. No, we're writing that down. That's what I'm going to draw. I'm going to draw a space potato.
Okay.
Space potato. Space potato. Okay, great. I don't know how to spell potato, but we'll figure that out. Yeah, no, so I feel like that type of food stuff, I don't know. I have a feeling that it's like, when you're playing a video game and it's like you have to go find something like really rare and you're like, this is stupid, but it's like a side quest and they're like, oh, okay, this side quest is actually going to mean something later.
Yeah.
I feel like the potato is going to mean something.
Yeah, I didn't. You're probably right. I didn't catch that. I think you're right. There was a lot of talk about the potato and the description of, finding the potato. So yeah, that could be important later on.
Yeah,
So this is the rutabaga that you think is going to become the secret weapon?
yes, I do. I think the space potato is going to like it's going to be like Wilson from, like that one movie with Tom Hanks.
Hmm.
They're gonna get attached to the space potato. No, it's not going to be like Wilson. But no, the space potato. I feel like it's going to be a source of food that all of a sudden, like everyone's going to get like down on French fries, and then they're going to get big and bulky and like fit. And they're going to be able to take on these green aliens that sound really wimpy.
Yeah, that's yep. Some starch, some carbs.
Right,
That's good. That's what they need in their diet. They're like 100% protein.
right.
Yeah, a bunch of big blue guys that are eating nothing but raw meat. Now I'm thinking that the cave might smell like farts.
Disgusting. Disgusting. Dude, if you're basically okay, so my mom dated this guy that like worked out all the time. All the time.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so my mom had me real young, and then she ended up dating a lot of questionable dudes. It's fine. That's a story for another time. But this dude would nonstop be like on this crazy diet, and all he would eat is basically like vegetables, hard-boiled eggs, and meat.
Okay.
You know how bad his breath was?
Oh no.
It was horrid. Horrid, disgusting, rotten egg, whatever. So like if there's just a bunch of like blue dudes who all they do is eat raw meat, like that cave not only smells like an amusement park water ride, but it also smells like porta potty at Coachella. And I've been in one of those. It's not great. It's real bad.
Does not sound good.
No, it's disgusting. Yeah. But in an emergency, it has its time and place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think the space potato is going to be a big deal. And like who knows? But can you imagine, dude, if you've had a diet of raw meat your entire life and then all of a sudden somebody introduces a space potato, that's going to be worse. Don't you think?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I mean,
at least you got a side.
Oh my gosh, it's like the Martian when he kept eating the potatoes. No, it's just, it feels like you're going to have nasty farts. Okay. So they eat the space potato and she's like, duh, the space potato is great. And then that's when they end up going outside. And so then they end up like canoodling outside in the snow. And then she's
canoodling. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they canoodled quite a bit, but they did not. And then she's like, I'm a virgin, which whatever, fine. But I don't feel like that's very realistic.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have thoughts on that?
No, I suppose that's possible. I don't really know. I don't really know. I mean, I'm picturing Kara being. I mean, she seems a little immature. Like the whole internalizing everything and not speaking out and not communicating. So I'm picturing her as a young adult. In her maybe like mid-20s or like 22 to 25. Yeah,
you're right. So wise. So maybe it's just like she just hasn't had the experience because she's awkward.
That's possible.
Right. It is possible. Yeah. So they
and Aehako seems a little bit more experienced.
Yeah, dude, I'm so about it because he was like, why wouldn't you want to like kick the wheels before you buy the car, He's like, you do you, right, baby boo. Like, I'm not judging you. You should do your thing. Get your rocks off and enjoy it.
Yeah. So he's got this he's got this whole thing with Asha, who is one of the only female blue aliens. And she's been pursuing him.
Yes.
Yeah, she's been pursuing him, and she's the one who's resonated with another one of the male blue aliens. But she's sort of like not, they're sort of an unhappy coupling.
Yes.
But I wasn't sure. I can't remember. Did she have a romantic history with Aehako, or is this something she's just pursuing now? Do
I
you
want.
do you recall?
I do. I want to say she did, and she was kind of
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, now that you're, but I want you." And he's like, "Ugh, but I'm interested in this other person." I think it's one of those
Right.
like, I used to be your side piece, and then I resonated with somebody, so I had to be with them. But like, I
Uh,
still wish I had your dongle,
mm-hmm. The phalange.
the phalanges. She's like, "I'm thirsting for the phalange,"
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "I'm interested in a human," and she's like, "Ugh," so annoyed by it.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, fine, whatever. I'm not mad at Asha. She's just doing her thing,
That's right.
you know?
She also mentions that the human females are ugly. And that and
Mm.
so in my mind I'm trying to get my head around like interspecies beauty standards, you know?
Yes.
Like
But
how would an alien like perceive humans, and how would a human perceive an alien, and that type of thing. It's kind of a weird abstract concept.
well, we all know that redheads get no love
Yeah.
in any species.
Oh no.
I was watching a Netflix documentary and it
Uh-huh.
was basically about dogs, like the mind of a dog. And they were talking
Hmm.
about how dogs, like, they think they're humans because basically they live with humans. They don't really live
Hmm.
with other dogs. So
Yeah.
every time they see another dog, the reason why they freak out is because it's like, what the hell is that?
Hmm.
What is that thing? Because they're used to
Yeah.
basically seeing humans in themselves. So I can only imagine that it's kind of like viewing, like, oh, that dog is sexy.
Uh-huh.
No?
Yeah. I've never thought that before.
You never were like, that's a pretty dog. That's a pretty dog.
No,
No?
I wouldn't say that, no.
No?
It's
You've never thought a
no.
dog was pretty.
All right, all the time, you know.
Like, my guess is it's a little bit like that. It's like, I don't know about this. And then what if the dog started talking to you?
Oh, well, there you
Right?
go. Then you got as long as I had something in common.
Star Trek.
Yeah, that's right. A dog who likes
Okay.
Star Trek.
Yes, that's what you need. You need a dog who
Mhm.
likes Star Trek. That's what I think it is. I think it's just like they're like, oh my gosh, what is this? And then they're
Mhm.
like, oh wow, it talks. And they're like, you get used to it, and you're like, all right, I think I can do that. That sounds
Uh-huh.
great. You know,
Right, right.
it's like beer, right?
Yeah.
You taste it first when you're maybe 8 years old. I'm sorry, wait, no. Um, and then you're like, that's disgusting. And then eventually
Mhm.
you're like, well, this is go-go juice, and I'm into it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, but, the first time I had beer when I was 8, I didn't really like it, but by the time I was 9, I was like, IPA.
You were an expert.
Yeah,
Give me those hops.
give me the most bitter
Yeah.
beer that you can do.
You want
Yeah.
something where you're going to grow hair on your chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of chests,
Uh-huh.
apparently Aehako's chest is very hard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they've got very tough skin.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so that I think that helps them in sort of battle situations.
Correct. And
Yeah.
apparently his nipples can cut glass.
Hmm. Well, it
Very.
is cold. It is cold on that planet.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out. Like, honestly, cold
Uh-huh.
planet, you have to share a dank cave. Or is
Yeah.
dank a cool word? I'm not cool anymore, so I don't know what cool words are.
I
But like,
don't know.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
So they end up, after they get ready for their like adventure,
Uh-huh.
she's like, I gotta go because I gotta save everybody from the green people. They go outside, they basically make out, and he like, you know, explores the downtown.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And she's very happy about that, which
That's right.
good for her. And then the author is like, okay, I'm going to stop this here because she's virginal. And then we're just
Uh-huh.
going to have to save that for another space in the book. I appreciate that. That's fine. Build the tension. No big deal. And I think that's where it ends, right? Like, or he, yeah, that's where it ends. And he's like, man, I just want to make out with this chick all day. The sharp teeth would kind of drive me nuts, but
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about his physical characteristics.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So
Sexy? Yes.
Sexy. 7 foot tall, right?
Uh-huh.
I think they said 7 foot tall.
Yep.
Pale slate blue skin
Mm-hmm.
with horns.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm picturing, there's on the cover of the book, there's sort of the horns are there, but they're kind of obscured.
Yes.
Did you catch
Yeah,
that?
because
Yeah,
all
they're
about
kind
her,
of like,
and she's got her butt, like her butt is facing forward.
mm,
Mhm.
yeah, I noticed her butt. And yeah, so he's got kind of like ram's horns and a little bit, and he's got kind of I would say like a lion's tail.
Yes.
It's got a little tuft of fur on the end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
is
like
it
those cats that get the lions cut and then they look like little lions.
yes, yes. And he has 3 fingers on his hands.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah.
But they're big and
Yeah.
they're flat and
Yeah.
they feel like suede.
Yeah. And I think that I think the 3-fingered hands came into play in that section, that last section that we read.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
buckle up for pages 55 through 66.
Yep. And we're also told that Kira is kind of has a 70s style haircut underneath the
Shag.
yeah, she's got a good shag carpet there.
Oh, I forgot about. I honestly thought you were talking about her hair, like her head hair. No, so Aehako has the most it's so awkward. I don't know what's more awkward, the courting gift or him describing her downtown merkin, so to say, and her uptown do.
Mm-hmm.
But he's very delighted about it, and he has told her that he's going to think about those things later.
Oh yes, that's right. Yep.
Insert barf sounds. I just find that hilarious, and I love how she's like all like, we don't have razors here. Of course you don't. Like he knows what it is. He's calling it your third nipple. Like, ew, it's a hairy third nipple. That sounds like a drink.
Yeah. You just invented a drink. I don't know what's in it, but that's a thing now.
Yep, something's gonna be in it. It's got to be all the things that would grow hair on your chest.
Yeah.
It's got to be like whiskey. Whiskey.
Yep.
Then another. Yes.
Canadian whiskey mixed with Irish whiskey and Scotch. That's a hairy nipple.
I love it. And scene.
Yeah.
The hairy nipple brought to you by Jason. Canadian Scotch. Why don't you just throw in some Canadian what is it? Fireball. Canadian Fireball. Then you've got
delicious.
Your Tennessee whiskey. Or is it Kentucky? The people of those places are
well, Kentucky bourbon, is that the type of whiskey you're talking about? Yeah.
That's what I meant. So it's
which is a whiskey, Fireball. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Canadian Fireball, Kentucky bourbon, and Scotch. That is the hairy nipple.
That's right.
No, I'm sorry, the hairy third nipple? What did we call it?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Hairy third nipple. That's good.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, is there anything else you want to discuss about these couple of chapters? I feel like we summed it up pretty good. So the next section is going to be I think they're going to go on their adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, this sounds good. We've got it all set up where there's a little bit more tension about the fact that Kira and Aehako are not resonating.
They're not resonating.
And that is a barrier for Kira, but Aehako still wants to pursue her. And there's still this question of delaying the expedition, but it sounds like they're going to move forward. And so we're going to see what happens on the expedition, I guess.
Yeah, they're taking, and he's very much like, live for today, Kira, live for today. And she's just like, you got it. As long as you keep servicing my third hairy nipple, then that's basically what's happening. I did get a little sad that I was like, you don't have to be fertile to fall in love. That's rude.
Yeah. That is interesting, but I think it also speaks to Kira's immaturity. I think there's a little bit of a character arc that she could have going forward.
Yeah. You're right. And the Cooey's gonna fix it all.
That's right.
Cooey and her patootie.
That's right.
I'll workshop that.
I don't know what the cooey is, but it could definitely be in her patootie.
It's it's the cooey in her patootie.
Yeah.
Cooey patootie. I like it. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, Jason. Yeah, no, any final thoughts? I have one.
Mhm.
I'm hooked. I'm gonna say. Get
Yeah.
it, Ruby Dixon. You've got me. Book 3.
Yeah.
I don't even have to read the first 2. I'm ready. I want to figure out what happens with this blue dude and this human.
That's right.
Yep.
We've got a running start. Yeah, we're gonna find out what happens.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what happens. Cool. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us for parts 1 and 2 of Barbarian Lover by Ruby Dixon. Next week we will be covering parts 3 and 4. So please join us again next week at Book Chub. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah. See you next week, Jenny.
Yeah.
Hey, Chubbers. Aaron here. We want to hear from you. So send us your book recommendations to bookchubpod@gmail.com. That's BOOKCHUBPOD @gmail.com. Mwah.